The Night Visitors. Horror story. Evelyn hated the farmhouse from the moment she saw it. A towering relic from the early 1900s, isolated and sagging under the weight of age. But after her mother's passing, it was hers, tucked away in the rural depths of Wisconsin, surrounded by silent fields and creeping woods. The first night, as she lay in bed, Evelyn was lulled by the rhythmic creaks of the old house settling until she heard something different. A slow, deliberate scratching sound came from the attic above her. She tried to ignore it, telling herself it was just a raccoon or a loose branch brushing against the house. But when the scratching turned to a faint tapping, she froze, the hair on her arms prickling. It sounded too intentional. The next morning, she climbed the narrow stairs to the attic. Dust hung thick in the air, and shadows twisted into shapes along the walls. She found no animals, no stray branches, only a series of strange, claw-like marks etched deeply into the wooden beams. As the sun sank below the horizon that evening, Evelyn poured herself a stiff drink. She'd get through the night and leave in the morning, forget the inheritance altogether. But as midnight struck, a soft humming filled the room, weaving in and out of the walls. It was a child's lullaby, chilling and sweet. She threw off her blankets and paced the house, trying to locate the source of the eerie melody. Her flashlight flickered as she entered the living room, illuminating the tarnished mirror above the mantel. She froze, heart pounding, as she saw not her own reflection, but that of a gaunt, hollow-eyed child, gazing back at her with a grin that stretched too wide. The mirror cracked, a thin line splitting across its surface, and the child whispered, "You can't leave. They won't let you." Evelyn staggered back, feeling something soft and warm brush against her ankle. She looked down to see a small, skeletal hand reaching from beneath the couch, its fingers curling around her leg. She screamed, kicking it away, but when she looked again, there was nothing. The clock chimed 3 times as shadows began to stretch and twist around her. Faces appeared in the walls, their mouths opening in silent screams, eyes dark and lifeless. The lullaby began again, louder, more desperate, as the walls closed in around her. In a final burst of courage, Evelyn grabbed her car keys and sprinted for the door. She pulled it open, only to see endless darkness stretching beyond the porch. The fields, the trees, the road, everything had vanished. Behind her, the humming grew louder, joined by whispers, chanting, "Stay with us, stay with us." Evelyn turned slowly to see dozens of shadowed figures standing in the doorway, their hollow eyes fixed on her, their hands reaching out, hungry and cold. The house was never seen again. Locals say it vanished that night, swallowed by the woods, but some still hear soft humming echoing through the trees, and a faint, desperate scratching at the edge of the forest, as if something or someone is trying to get out.